Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So this is going to be a continuation of my twin flame, divine masculine, divine feminine, twin flame love journey, which is actually personal to me. But I'm doing it like this because maybe it can help somebody else. So everything's important. We'll see what happens here, okay? So, I'm going to just tell you my story. You take what you need from it or not. So, for some reason, this is going back for over 10 years, which is now actually 12 years because 2010, I moved from Delaware to Texas. Okay, so I started off in Delaware, moved to Dallas, Texas, okay? That was in 2010. Something about that time was significant and different because the person that I was just married to recently, I was leaving from that person. We had a house together. Something happened between it was just something that happened. So anyway, I moved into a different house because they moved away from me, moved somewhere else. Supposedly had given money to a friend of mine to pay my rent for a month because that was the amount of time they thought they should give me, I guess. And either way, I started working for the housing authority at the time. So that moved me into a different house, a townhouse. And so I started back dating. He was my husband at the time, but we had been separated. So the person that I just married, and this is all crossing over, so this is why it's weird. So the person, so I went back to what is now my ex-husband, a husband previously, my second husband, we'll just say that, okay? So that person was being messy, doing a bunch of bullshit, so I ended up not dating that person. Long story short, stayed in that house for a minute, but then this is where God is calling me to move. God is saying, I need you to move. So, because it was just like a bunch of weird, random ass shit happening. So I decided to pick up and leave because that's what I was hearing from God. You gotta go. It was kind of the best and worst thing only because my two oldest children didn't want to go. My daughter was finishing school, and she was in her last year, and she was pregnant. My oldest son, he was just doing whatever he wanted to do at the time. But either way, anybody that knows me knows how I feel about my kids. So that was the hardest thing that I ever could have done because of the fact that, again, my daughter was pregnant, but she didn't want to go, and I didn't want to force her to take her, you know, miss out on her last year of school. And so I just told her she was supposed to be with her parent, with her best friend's parents. So I asked, you know, we talked about it. She's supposed to move with them. And either way, I cried. I cried a lot because God is telling me to go, but my daughter's pregnant. She wants to finish school, and now I have to leave them in a state, and then where I was going was only 24 hours away. Like, totally on a car ride, quickly on a plane. But either way, one of the hardest things that I ever could have done. So I took the youngest two, and I moved to Dallas. Okay, so to my dad. My dad lives in Dallas. My dad is from Dallas, born. So at the time, my then children's father, the last two, and husband, he comes to Dallas with me, which ended up being the worst mistake of my life, because the first time I ever ended up, I used to work for the Department of Corrections, but he kept doing stuff like, you know, pushing me, doing a bunch of weird crap to where I got tired, and then I just went. And anybody that knows me, when I black out, it's a real blackout. And I ended up in lockup for 2 days, okay? This nigga takes and leaves my kids with my dad, and he goes back to Delaware to his girlfriend, which I don't even know why he ended up coming, but okay, neither here nor there. From that point on, I don't fuck with you, because you never gonna get me arrested, because I'm never supposed to end up in anybody's handcuffs or anything. I worked for the Department of Correction. I'm not supposed to be in the Department of Correction. So either way, that happened. Okay, so that's over 10 years ago. That's 12 years ago. Either way, point being, that happened, okay? So somehow there's a rapper connected to this. One that I've never met, but I actually did see in concert before. Come to find out, that rapper was in the same city that I was at the same time. So and that I just found out recently, because that same rapper is now somehow been meddling and messing. But and it's confusing, because to me, because the person that I thought was my twin flame, or the person that I acknowledge as my twin flame, is the person that I've known and was best friends with since I was 17. So while I'm in Dallas, I meet somebody, the person that I was with before this last person, and he was into trucking. So he started teaching me about trucking and everything as to how, you know, trucking works. And I started doing some of his paperwork, because at the time he was connected to somebody. And when I met him, this person told me that God told him to help me and not touch me. That's what he said out of his mouth. It's a lot of ins and outs in betweens, okay? Either way, I learned trucking from that person. So I stayed in Dallas 2 years, and I moved to Georgia, which at this time, I don't know where that particular person is. I don't know where the person I'm thinking is my twin flame is at. I don't know where the rapper is in 2012, okay? Because actually, I never realized this person was even important. So when I moved to Georgia, 2012, I started my company, filed my own paperwork, did everything. And at the time, when I started, I had 5 trucks that were under me. The person that I was with, mentoring me, and, you know, we were together basically at this time, kind of started doing some shady ass shit. So the first 3 months in trucking, this person just decided that they put me in a particular environment or area, and then they started doing shit. So literally tried to strip everything from me all at once. God said it was a no. So God comes in with a different plan. So now I go around that, and now I'm back with a truck because this person like literally shot my shit down and lied to the police and the authorities and everybody, and got the person that he was connected to, the female, the lie, and everybody basically just tried to do a bunch of weird ass random ass shit. Okay. So I start learning like a lot of stuff, like, because I'm like a computer when I start. So I started learning ins and outs, trucking, this, that, and a third. That person, every time they did something, because this person did something several times, God made them come back and fix the thing that they tore up, the thing that they messed up. Okay, so still, the person that now I consider to be my friend, we have conversation every now and then. The person that I was with didn't like the fact that I called this person my best friend. Because what nigga would like for, you know, somebody to be their best friend? A dude to be their woman's best friend. Okay, and I'm skipping a lot of stuff in between here, and the timelines can be off a little bit just because of the fact that I'm trying to process what's really been happening here, because this thing is old as fuck for some reason. And I don't like it, because from what I see from it, I don't like it. Okay, so this rapper is one of my favorite rappers. Everybody knows the rapper that I like. So I'm not gonna mention his name at this point because I feel like I just want to slap him. And I probably will at some point in time. Hopefully I don't get arrested again, because, you know, that was over 10 years ago, and people still can catch these hands, especially when you're doing shit that's messy. And we'll talk to God about it. So I'm doing my own thing. The person has to come back and help. I actually had to send this person money too, because the person that they decided that they wanted to be playing around in my face with left them on the side of the road. It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of foolishness back and forth with this person. Okay. Either way, I was learning a lot in the process, even during a relationship, because the person was always going and just being messy. But they were a very good person because they taught me a lot, like I said. This person came out of their mouth also with another thing, that when me and them were done, I wasn't going to want to be with anybody else, because of the fact that I was basically very, very spoiled in this relationship. I mean, we made a lot of money together. I said it before. And so I didn't have to want for nothing. Queen of Pentacles. Very much vibe and energy, okay? So this person and me were out of alignment when it came to business, because they wanted to do shit that I didn't like, and I want to do what I want to do with my business. I didn't need anybody interfering, and it was just, you know, over the years, I had a lot of drivers that would come along and do shit that I didn't like, but it was teaching me. So, a couple years ago, apparently 2019 is when this all happened. I called my best friend, and I told my best friend, because I was over the issue with him. And so this was 8-9 years in a run, and I had been with this other person. Me and my so-called best friend had split, and it was 2009, I think, because I moved in 2010, and this is now 2022, so it's over 12 years, okay? So 13 years at this point. So literally, the person, I called him in 2019, because we had already been like sometimes hanging out with each other, not sexually or just as friends. And when we were in our 20s, I was in my 20s, he probably was in his 30s. We made a little pact with each other that if we weren't married by a certain age, that we would marry each other. That was also a thing. So I called him one night and I said, do you want to get married? Are you ready? So we talked about it, and he said what he said, I said what I said. He paid for the minister. I found the minister. He paid for the minister. And it happened really in a bit of a month. Like, literally, we hadn't been talking. We hadn't been, like, everything happened really, really fast. So, and again, timeline, everything can be off, and stuff could be rearranged only because it's a lot to try to unpack even with this. And so I'm just trying to sum it up and make it make sense to myself a little bit, only because somebody's been trying to get my attention for a very, very long time. And apparently the universe, I don't know. And see, that's the thing. I don't even know if I was big on social media back then or what was happening. But either way, twin flame relationship or situation, for some reason, it's like you're calling each other in or pulling each other in. But the thing is I'm thinking one person when there's another person. And I don't even know how this person fits in, because literally I don't know what that is. It's weird. So when I moved to Dallas, God telling me to leave, that I gotta leave, but trying to put me on track for something else. Meanwhile, I bring sand to the beach. It was already fucked up, but yet still trying to hold on to it for my kids. So I took sand to the beach when I shouldn't have, which ended up with me in trouble, like I said, for the first time ever in my life, which ended up not being trouble because everything was thrown out. And the person that I met ended up, the person that came along my pathway saying that God told him to help me and not touch me, everything got taken care of. So just really the only thing that happened was me spending in lockup for 2 days. But literally all that stuff is off my record. It was like it never happened, only because of the fact it was the very first time I ever got in trouble, and the courts were like, this can't even be possible. So it don't even exist is a thing. And like I said, it was over 10 years ago. So why that's being brought up now or relevant, I don't know. But somebody put it in court documents that they wanted to know if I had ever gotten arrested. No, the fuck I ain't gotten arrested. And that's stupid for a person to even think so. So did but didn't. And it was over 10 years ago. So asking for documentation that is over, that within the 10 years was stupid, because why would you do that to yourself? Because we know you've been arrested for drugs and everything else. So that's weird that you would put yourself in that predicament, because people have to realize that whatever they're asking for, they're going to have to give. You giving what you going to get, or you going to get what you going to give. Either way, you reaping and sowing. That was a sidebar, because, since people being nosy, then be nosy for a good reason. Either way, but that's relevant for some reason. Somebody put that there as if they thought that my background has something. It doesn't. 10 years, within the 10 years, or before the 10 years. It just doesn't. So go with God on that. Take it how it resonates for you. Anyway, so a person pulling you in. So when I got pulled to Dallas, God saying go to Dallas, there was a person there. Me and that person never crossed paths, though. That's the thing. Because although I went out, I'm not a going out type of person. So I don't know how or when we would have crossed paths. Moving to Georgia, I don't know how or when we would have crossed paths because literally I don't go anywhere. I stay to myself. I've been here since 2012 and I still don't know anybody but people who live in my neighborhood. The lady whose house I used to stay in, I know her. The dude that used to cut my grass, I know him. The people that live next door to me, I know them. The people that, you know, live in my neighborhood, I know them. Past that, I didn't make friends here because I never had a job here to, you know, meet anybody. And most of the time when you're meeting people, it's because you're on a job with a person, or because, you know, you are going out, and I'm not a going out person. So when I go out, it's because normally my family comes in and I'm with them. So I would never run across anybody, which is, you know, I guess relevant also. So, here doing my thing, learn how to drive, and when I learned how to drive, I learned how to drive heavy equipment. So I would go out with the person that I was with, and literally I would help load, unload, tie down. Like, I literally learned how to do all of this stuff. Even like as far as working on my truck, like nobody really wanted to let me do it, but because I am who I am, I decide that I decide what I want to do, and nobody gonna tell me what I want to do. And people normally try to stop you from doing stuff because they want to hinder you. So like I done put in radiators, I have actually really worked on my truck and done stuff that, because even now it's the thing, like I've said stuff to people like recently, trying to do like an airbag or something, and they don't want me to do it. Everybody tries to do stuff for me, which I love, but also to me it's like I need to know what to do when people are not around, because sometimes people are not around and sometimes it's more of a hindrance than a help. Okay, either way, so I've had license and everything else for a long period of time. I also have had, you know, like I said, I told y'all before, medical assistant. I'm a licensed herbalist, licensed esthetician. Used to do real estate, which I could actually do here, except for the fact I would have to, you know, take a couple classes here. I do a lot of shit. And I already said to people, like, it would take 8 to 10 people to mimic my one person. My energy and my just everything is off the charts. So when people, and I said it, there's videos that you should go back and look at. What do I bring to the table? I am the table. I'm everything. So, and I'm a lover. And I'm all things. Lover, fighter. Like, I'm all things. Like, when God made me, he made me, okay? In his image, literally. And I tell people that all the time. I'm God's child. Literally, God's child. Take it how it resonates for you, and everybody can say they everything and everybody, you know, but I show and prove. I don't just be talking out my ass. I show and prove. So, and I have got smacked by God before for being, you know, a little arrogant, a little uppity, a little, you know, so that's also the reason. And that was in my 20s. So now that I'm 46, of course, I know better, you know, because it took me a while to get back in God's good graces. So when he turns his back on you, he didn't really turn his back on me. But when I had to leave in 2010 from Delaware, it was because I got smacked again for doing, you know, the most. So I stay in line right now. Like, you know, everything's yours, but nothing is yours. You can do what you want, but be careful, okay? Be cautious. Don't do anything that harms anybody. So I know all these lessons. Exactly. For anybody to think that I've never had a self-esteem problem. I've never had I don't want to be me. Like I said, when he made me, he made me. So for anybody coming along trying to tell me who they think I am or what they thought they did, it wasn't your business. Again, y'all in something that wasn't pertaining to y'all. But now I'm starting to realize, like, the universe has been pulling me, or I don't know if this person is doing it, because literally, and that could be a thing too, because New Orleans, everybody knows I love New Orleans. Anybody that knows me knows that I tell them real quick, like, that place for some reason calls me. But I don't know if it was the place calling me or the person calling me. Again, weird, because I never knew that this person even existed on that level, because of the fact that I didn't look at that person like that based off the person was with somebody and I was not. Like, you just don't do that. Especially, I just don't do that, especially when it's like, yes, I have been with people who have had somebody, but it's always been like, oh, they have an issue. You can tell they have an issue. And that doesn't make it right, but literally that's normally the way that it goes. I would never be with a person or just enter myself into somebody's life that is not having an issue, and those people didn't look like they were having an issue, so I would have never inserted myself into that situation, and this person's younger than me. So again, the whole thing is weird, because I don't know how they got here, or if they were always here, or I don't know, but certain things are saying that it was always here, but how Sway? It's weird. So the first thing, so tapping into these cards, the first thing was a death. The death in the Queen of Swords. So the death is transition is at hand. There's a stage in the journey that's over. There's a rebirth and a resurrection. So when one thing ends, another begins. And then we had the Queen of Swords, what was speaking the truth and ignoring lies. So people just talking, and this person is just ignoring everything that they saying. But this is also a cold, calculating person. So if y'all can see this, she has this man's head in her hand, off with his head. Cut this nigga head off. Under old law, an eye for an eye. A person that, yeah, basically it says what it says. You can see it. The image is what it is. She cut this nigga head off. So clearly something was happening. And here, this card, the death, to me, it gave me something about this person was off. Because, and if you notice, she's a queen. But she don't have her crown on. The death card has the crown on his head. And if you notice here, that's a DNA strand right there. So a DNA strand going into Scorpio, to a Scorpion. Scorpio. So I actually have Scorpio in my chart, which is the reason why people think one thing about me. A Pisces is emotional, but there's Scorpio in my chart, which is very, take it how it resonates for you. This also looks like the yin and yang sign and the sign for Pisces, for a fish. And then we got sperm, like sperm falling out the sky. So what I gather from this situation is this dude did something that was detrimental to his health, his life, and it got his head cut off. So to me, going through my spiritual awakening, I died. Physical, mental, spiritually. Take it how it resonates for you, because again, I'm telling y'all, but literally this is also for you to take whatever it is that you need to take from this. And so, and then this thing right here going up the sword is that's like the snake, but we also know the snakes are healing, and those are like on the hospital and anything that's health related. So something about this man and something about this woman, this queen, cold-hearted person, speaking their truth, ignoring lies. Somehow this person gave me, they lied. It might have been lying about their DNA. It might have been lying about where they came from. But either way, this person came close to a queen or somehow violated this queen in order for them to get their head cut off. That's just what that's giving me. Also, here, the Empress, which is over here, looks just like this woman. So she's sitting on her throne here, and here she's not even, it's like kind of invisible. But either way, it started with her and it ended with her. So take it how it resonates for you. But this Queen of Swords and this Empress are the same person, okay? So then here, we ended up with, what was on the bottom? Okay, the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups here was feeling fulfillment from those around you, communion with friends, trusted friends, and celebrating a group effort. So communion with friends, breaking bread, having, you know, your friends filling your cup. But it says trusted friends. Okay? And then all three of these cards fell out when I was checking them, right? So then the Three of Cups, the three, God's perfect number, I mean, not God's perfect number, the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And also, it's always three. What do you call it? I can't remember. But anyway, when you look it up, because you need to look all these things up for yourself. But then we had the Three of Swords came out, the Knight of Wands, and then the Nine of Wands. So 3 and 3, that was 33. So 33 expressing an onset of being creative. Create the world that you, so it's new endeavors. You're creating, crafting this new life, okay? So even here, and I'm sorry, but I'm jumping around, Marie Masquerade, I gave y'all them cards already, and a twist in the tail. Somebody's in hot water. Literally, somebody's in trouble behind whatever this is. And like I said, this is pertaining to me. Some shit just happened to me. Somebody's definitely in trouble. And it is what it is. Like, so success and new endeavors coming. Then we had, so the Three of Swords, which is right here, is sorrow overwhelms you, the inability to trust your heart, and rejection. Rejection brings isolation. So rejection brings isolation. I just separated from a person. They wanted to be where the people that loved them the most was. And it wasn't me. So, okay, I didn't feel rejected, but maybe I was rejected, okay? I guess that would be what it would be, because if they want to go away from me, then I would take rejection, okay? Again, I didn't really feel rejected, but if that's what it is, that's what it is. I did love the person. I do love the person, even still to this day. But to me, it felt like, so it's rejection flat out. But also, to me, it is being able to love properly, knowing that you can't stop a person from wanting to be wherever it is that they want to be. So that's why I felt like when the person said it to me, we were still together, you know, at the time, you know, because it's been a thing. And I had time to digest it, you know. So to me, it was like, okay, this person don't want me. So we also know rejection is God's protection. So clearly it was a rejection. But it says inability to trust your own heart. I don't feel that way only because I'm going to love again. And that person being connected to me since I was 17 years old would have allowed them to get close enough to me to kind of do whatever it was they were planning on doing. So sorrow overwhelms you. I'm not sorrowful. Like, it is what it is. And I know that God, I trust God. So I know that there's another person that's out there for me. But this could be for somebody else. But I was isolated, and clearly I was rejected because that person said, the person that I wanted to be with didn't want to be with me. I wanted to be married to my best friend. That was my best friend. So, okay, I was rejected. I'll have to let that sizzle on my spirit a little bit. But probably not. So 3 of Swords. But what this is it looks like 1 straight sword and then 2 bent swords, okay? Okay. Which turned out to look like a bow and arrow to me. So I ended up writing that down. Then, God bless me, we had the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands looks like the Emperor. So the Knight of Wands is like, lead strong and expand your empire. Stand up for what you believe in. Take a risk for large return and investment. So although this is a knight, for some reason I took it as to mean this Queen of Swords and this this Empress. The Empress standing up for what she believes in, expanding her empire. Because apparently if I'm rejected and I'm by myself, then that means I now have to do what I got to do for myself. So now that person that I just got rejected from is no longer on my pathway. That was the person that I was saying was my twin flame, which is the person I thought was my twin flame, which is the person that I've been like having this whole love affair with for all these years since I was 17. Okay. And now I'm feeling like 17 is important, so why? Okay, so let me write this down and let me look it up. 17, because I never did, but I keep seeing it. Okay, so taking a risk. So risk was you got rejected, you're off on your own. Now you got to go handle your own business because you were trying to get someone to come and help you with, your pathway with this journey, because that's what y'all are supposed to do for each other, help each other along the journey. But this person didn't want to be on the journey, so this person left. Okay. So now we have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is strength and fortitude. It can carry you through to the end. You have a bit more time to go, so release the burdens and be vigilant. So continue diligent, continue to keep moving forward, continue to keep going. So as I'm doing this, it's 212, okay? So I look up 212, and it is love twin flame reunion, working on themselves. Your twin flame is working on themselves. So now that threw me, because I'm saying my twin flame left, they rejected me. The thing that they did, I'm never taking them back. Even in my book, I wrote that person is I'm never taking them back. So once they did what they did, it was a wrap. It's over. So how do I have a twin flame reunion that's working on themselves? And that we're having, this person's working on themselves, I'm working on me, we're supposed to reunite. We never met. So where's the reunite coming in from? So when I went through my spiritual awakening, I became probably the creepiest bitch under the sun, okay? To most people, because literally I'm different, and I know I'm different. I accept that, and I'm not upset. So when I awakened, under my the new spiritual awakening, my ascension, I recollected another past life love. So this is somebody that I met before that exists now in this time. The one that I was just married to, I kept telling that person like I felt like they killed me in a past life, which come to find out they actually did. And don't ask me why I can remember my past life. It's weird. And I do want to do another past life regression, but I have to do it, well, not another one because I've never done one. But somehow I can remember several past lives. And the person that I was just married to killed me in one of them and tried to kill me again in this one. Thank God I awakened to somebody else from another past life trying to save me in this life, which is weird, but it happened. Which again, another rejection from this person, but for some reason I never felt rejected under that person, and I kept trying to say it, but then it was almost like I kept being stopped from saying it because God was saying, no, don't say that. So I never said it until now, and I guess now I'm allowed to say it because I never felt rejected from that person. If a person goes through the amount of stuff that they went through to wake me up, then clearly there's something other than I despise you there, even though the person was doing little dumb shit. But what happened was I was turned around to look at this person sooner than what I was supposed to be. I was never supposed to engage with this person because God, when I awaken, and this person probably don't know this, but I said it already, and nobody looks up nothing, nobody goes and sees anything. I was told never to go near this person. Everything has to happen organically. If we cross paths, we have to cross paths naturally. So and this person has been around. I could have went and seen the person several times, could have rolled right up on them and smacked them right in the face. Never have, okay? Even though I felt like it several times. Because the nigga's rude. But I guess we are like a match made in heaven because I'm rude too, motherfucker. So I was told not to go near this person. But somehow this person being connected to some nasty ass, karmic ass bitches, and I mean all of them, because I've been seeing all of them, but only one of them made an effort to get my attention, and that's the only reason why, because I know who actually started this, but only one got addressed because she was the one that was being nasty, and so everybody else was not touched. You can do whatever, but you don't violate. And so you don't violate unless you get violated. And this little nasty one was violating because she was mad and upset. So I would have never paid attention to that person if it was not for her. So on January the 5th, I wrote down in my book, and this is the book. January 5th is when I got made aware of this person. And at first, I thought the person was trying to help me because that's what it was looking like. But literally, it wasn't that they were trying to help me. They was trying to be messy with the person and I guess the person's friend. And I don't know what happened, but it was a bunch of little stupid shit that I didn't want to be involved in. But either way, I got dragged into it. And now I'm paying attention to something that I was told not to pay attention to, not to engage in this person, to leave this person to their own devices because this person was receiving karma for some shit that they had done, and come to find out it was some shit they had done to me and some other people. But either way, the person was receiving karma. So don't go near the person, because if you go near the person, then you're going to end up receiving karma as well. But because the bitch dragged me closer to them, then I kind of got hit with a couple of things that they got hit with, and I didn't like it. Because I wasn't supposed to be even paying attention to that person. But again, minions and little nasty people, and this person being lazy and not wanting to do their own job, they sent one of they little stank ass bitches, and I don't know why they would do that. And even in this book, I prayed for that person. I mean, I did X them out, but literally, I prayed for that person. And the fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. Corrupt are they, and they have an abominable iniquity. There is none that doeth good. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. So I said, bless the child behind the camera. Bless her. Let the mischief of the something, I don't know, either way. But the bitch, January the 5th of this year is when I actually made note of her and the situation. So, yeah, I didn't like it. Either way, so back on track. Then we had the Nine of Wands, strength and fortitude, carrying you through the situation, carrying you through to the end, release the burdens. But this also, Nine of Wands, looks like a bow and arrow, okay? So I wrote that down. Bow and arrows are about emotional stability and never giving up what you're doing. That's what those are. And prepare for contradictions along your journey. So everything is yours, but yet nothing is yours. That's a contradiction. So prepare for contradictions along this journey. Positivity does not deny challenges. It only chooses to maintain a positive attitude through the process, okay? So there's going to be contradictions throughout this whole entire thing. There has been contradictions throughout the journey. So then we have the Magus, which is self-mastery, but that's a magician card. You have everything, all the tools needed. So this Queen of Swords got left by herself on her journey, on her pathway. Me, okay, because this is mine. I got left by myself on my journey. But I have all the tools that were needed to do what I needed to do. God has been preparing me. So if you go back to the video, when I awakened, I asked God, like, what do you want me to do? You're telling me that people are supposed to be here. I'm supposed to meet my soul tribe, ask for help, but nobody showed up. They sent some little minion chick to help, but she's not helping. She's basically trying to hinder the situation and trying to make me, you know, flash out for some reason, which I don't know why that would be, because you're on the internet. Now, cross my path and watch what happened to you in real life. It'll be like the Flash, real quick. Because it's a no for me. Your energy is nasty. So, taking the initiative, doing what you need to do. Because literally, on this pathway right now, although this is a twin flame soulmate journey, I'm on this thing by myself. I went out to work, make my money by myself, even though these people, every single one of them is trying to block my money. Because if any of these people actually really cared about me, my address and everything is in the description box, could have sent me money, but they were trying to magician the situation also to keep me bounded, blocked, and stuck. Why would any twin flame do that to the other one? You went through leaps and bounds, portals to save me, but then you also try to have me broke and poor and like some weird shit. Even the one that I just left that I've known since I was 17, like when I left that person, we were not mad. The person said they wanted to be where they wanted to be. I was not mad at that person. And why would you be mad at me if I loved you properly? I sent you where you wanted to be. I took you where you wanted to be. You told me that. You told me what you wanted, but yet meanwhile, back at band camp behind the scenes, you were being messy and nasty. And on everything I love, this person told me that they were not leaving me for nobody, but I can almost guarantee you, they would lie and say they didn't, but I can almost guarantee you that this person is with somebody. I don't know who, didn't ask. I honestly don't even care. But those words came out of that person's mouth. I'm not leaving you for anybody. And if anybody runs across this and they see this, the bitch, the him, the everybody, that's what he told me. I'm not leaving you for anybody. I need to go where everybody that loves me the most is. I didn't know who that would be if I'm not leaving you for anybody. Maybe your kids, maybe, like, I don't know who that would be. Because everybody that loved me the most, I would have thought I would have been married to, or like, I thought I was the person that loved the person the most. But clearly I wasn't, because money was more important than my love. This person said they needed money. They had to go because they needed money. So money was more important, and so maybe that was the thing. Their money loved them the most, and their money was in Delaware, but they are now trying to get money from me the whole entire time. But again, we were not mad at each other, and that's the thing I don't get. How did it go from our last night hugged up on each other? You was hugged up on me, but yet to now you want it to, but either way, this person was already being messy because the GPS tracking, the telling the neighbors I was on cocaine, lying because I never did cocaine before in my life. And if I wanted to, I would. I don't give a fuck who knew. That's my business. I'll do what I want. But I never did. So don't say that. Like, you're not going to give me something that I didn't do. Why would a person, like, the whole thing is weird. So it was almost like they were setting me up for the kill right while they were with me. So the whole time, the whole thing was an illusion. It was fake. And I've known this person. So why would you do that? Like, why was the whole thing was staged? And that's weird. Okay, so either way, fuck that and fuck him. The Eight of Wands, we get to things moving swiftly, taking the initiative. So you have the tools. So all of this, like I said, is now a new walk because I done got rejected, kicked out, you know, whatever, on their pathway. But I'm on my own pathway. I'm not rejected from my own pathway. I can never be rejected from my own pathway. So that's what I meant to say previously. I can't get rejected from my own pathway, but I got rejected from their pathway, which is cool. Okay? I done got kicked out by better. All right? Because remember, I said God turned his back on me. So I definitely have been rejected by better. All right? So we good. So then we have the Four of Swords. Where did I put that at? I must have just looked at it and then didn't write it down. But either way, let's see. Because I did it. I remember saying it, but I must didn't write it. It was late when I was going through this, so so the Four of Swords is relief and rest from strife. Contemplate the tools you have and mental change arrives. So resting, getting some rest and realizing that this is what happened to me, okay? So understand it, trying to get a clear mind process behind this. But it also talks about the tools and contemplate the tools you have. With the Magician being here, I have all the tools. I wasn't lacking anything. I was able to just do what I needed to do to get what I needed to get, except for the fact that there's people now that are, I guess, faking or something. I don't know what you would call it, but literally trying to block my pathway. And I didn't understand why my pathway was being blocked by people that didn't want to be here anyway. And if you don't want to be here, why are you trying to block somebody's pathway? That's some weird ass shit. But either way, that's what was happening. So this is the first section and we're at 52 minutes. So I'm going to upload this one. So there's going to be a part 2. But literally, I'm minding my business on my own. Things came to an end. And again, under old law, we're under old law, an eye for an eye. Take it how it resonates for you. But this is a higher, this is in the courts of heaven right now. So 3D is nothing compared to what's happening up there. And I got rejected to walk my pathway by myself for right now. We'll move down here on the next video.